Across Mexico, dangerous animals are on the loose. They're at the heart of a trade that is spiraling out of control.
This one was in a gunfight in Michoacan.
Profits are high. And lax law enforcement means illegal breeding is rife.
Anyone with $4,000 can start a breeding facility of big cats.
And that protected species are boldly traded in the open.
He's 3 months old and he's requesting 23,000 pesos.
But what risks do owners face?
Ya tenía los fuegos más bruscos, mire este.
And what is the cost to rare and endangered animals?
Este maltrato animal se tiene que evitar.
Sinaloa, Mexico is home to the notorious Sinaloa cartel and a growing obsession with big cats.
We're driving into the Golden Triangle in Mexico for drugs, guns, and exotic animals. In fact, it's been estimated that there are more tigers here than in the whole of India in the wild.
Exotic animals have been popular among narcos since the 1980s, making them synonymous with power. Since then, big cats have become the hallmark of Mexico's wealthy elite. In uptown Culiacan, the capital of Sinaloa, we're given rare access to a legal wealthy cat owner, Jesus, and his pet tigers, Simba and Nala. We've been asked to film only select parts of the house.
Con ella yo me encariñé mucho porque pues es bien dócil, la manejamos muy fácil. Al principio sí es muy bonito porque un animal está chiquito, lo puede tener uno en la casa suelto y todo.
Owning big cats like Nala and Simba is legal if they were born in captivity and are registered.
Él es un poco más agresivo, más nervioso.
Jesus designed this high-security house in a residential area around his tiger's needs. They have their own pool and waterfall, and multiple staff that give them 24-hour care.
Would you describe your tigers as VIP?
Sí, tienen muchos privilegios, que están mimados. Y es lo que dice la gente, no, oye, cabrón, la tienes bien consentido, come mejor que tú, o come mejor que yo. Cumplió 1 año, le hicimos un pastel.
What made you decide to get tigers?
Un día andamos en la calle, atrás nos sale un muchacho con un tigre amarrado así con una cadena. Y se nos hizo, pues, aquí decimos chilo.
The desire to copy the affluence of the narco lifestyle has made big cats increasingly popular and available. Jesus bought his tigers impulsively when he saw them for sale on social media.
Es muy fácil, muy fácil.
But what began as a cute animal quickly became dangerous.
Ya me di cuenta que ya hacía cosas diferentes, ya aruñaba, ya mordía bien fuerte, ya tenía los fuegos más bruscos, mire este. Cuando tenía 7 meses me mordió, no, dije ya, nunca me vuelvo a meter con él, dije.
At 6 months, tiger cubs can become erratic and weigh 100 pounds.
Es una responsabilidad bien grande que la gente no sabe, no sabía, nadie sabe hasta que lo tiene.
But not everyone looks after their animals so well. I've been invited to spend the day with Roy, a local vet who specialises in exotic animals. He estimates that half the animals he sees are illegally owned, meaning he won't usually see those animals until they're in a critical condition.
Lamentablemente he visto muchos casos de animales exóticos en muy malas condiciones. Son muchos animales que mueren.
Owners who don't know how to handle growing cats are resorting to extreme medical practices to make the animals less dangerous. Kira lives on a private ranch owned by a local entrepreneur. Her previous owners gave her away when she became too dangerous to keep at home.
Vamos a revisar sus dientes. Cuando adquirieron este ejemplar, tuvo un mal manejo y limaron sus dientes para que, no sé, suponen que no va a morder.
How does it make you feel when people choose to file them down in this case?
Triste, pero pues hay que solucionarlo clínicamente. Vamos a llorar, vamos a dar solución.
Kira has been struggling to eat her food for a few weeks and is starting to lose weight. The only way that Roy can safely work on her is to knock her out.
And the tiger does not look very happy.
Podemos aquí comprobar que no hay reflejo palpebral. Tenemos una buena respiración.
Roy and his assistant need to move fast to get all the checks done before she wakes up.
Podemos ver el daño que hicieron en sus caninos, la fuerza de mordida. Aún y cuando estos están limados, puede fracturar fácilmente un hueso. Podemos ver que esto accesa a la médula del hueso y el nervio, y hay dolor. Lo más probable es que esta pieza sí se va a tener que extraer.
Extracting fangs is a risky procedure.
Es muy profunda la raíz. No es fácil extraerlo. A veces hay que hacer una pequeña fractura en esta pospartura del cráneo.
Kira's paws were also mutilated.
Aquí no hay garras.
Taking out her claws involves surgically removing the last bone in her paws, damaging nerves and tendons and permanently disabling her.
Entonces no tienen control de sus manitas.
It's horrible.
Este maltrato animal se tiene que evitar.
Not all cats are lucky enough to find a new home. Unwanted animals face being resold, abandoned, or killed for their skins. And with a large number of exotic animals on the loose, how many of these come from a growing illegal market? To understand the scale of this problem, I'm travelling deep into the Sinaloa hills to the Osto Animal Sanctuary. Today the sanctuary is celebrating its second year anniversary and an elephant wedding. Owner Ernesto Zazueta is one of Mexico's best-known figures in animal rescues.
Oye, Ernesto, el tema de los hipopótamos, ¿cómo van con este rescate?
En cualquier momento les damos la noticia que estamos listos.
He's waiting on 70 so-called cocaine hippos that were first bred by the Colombian drug lord Pablo Escobar.
Vengan, ven Freddy. Freddy, ven tú, para darte. Abre, abre, abre.
Last year, Ernesto and his team handled 160 big cat rescues. Most of the animals had been abandoned, neglected, illegally trafficked, or confiscated from narcos' homes after police raids.
This one was in a gunfight in Michoacan. Look at, and got a shot right here, here, and here.
And since you opened 2 years ago,
How many come from the black market?
yeah,
you
what
say?
percentage
About
roughly?
if we rescue about 1,700 come from traffic or more. It's too many.
Illegal trafficking of animals is now the fourth most profitable trade after guns, drugs, and human trafficking.
Those jaguars come from a house in Nayarit. Those little jaguars come from a traffic. The little white tiger over there come from traffic also. The cougar, and all of them come from traffic.
But in this murky world, even high-profile people like Osto run into trouble. Government authorities confiscated animals from his other zoos, alleging animals weren't legally registered and were mistreated.
Siempre están inventando que yo hice esto mal, que no es cierto, son mentiras. Si yo hubiera hecho mal algo, ya estuviera en la cárcel. Son mentiras.
Ernesto insists he'll protect animals, regardless of what's said about him. While expensive exotic pets used to be reserved for narcos, they've quickly become available to anyone. I've come to Mexico City to meet Alejandro Oliveira, whose research has been tracking these changes. When you say it's very easy to find stuff online, how easy are we talking?
Just this morning I was asking for a baby lion, and she started offering the lion in 40,000, and now she's offering the lion for 20,000.
That seems really cheap.
That's just over £900, but it doesn't have papers.
A raccoon.
Sellers use private Facebook groups to offer a huge range of legal and illegal animals, often with little differentiation between the two.
Wow, there's 11,000 members in this group.
One seller has his phone number on display.
Can we message some of these?
We get an instant reply for baby spider monkeys.
I don't like to see.
Why? Do you find it difficult?
Yeah. They have to kill the mother in order to get the babies.
Priced at £1,000 each, they are increasingly in demand and frequently snatched from the wild.
He's 3 months old, and he's requesting 23,000 pesos. They said no papers. That means that they are illegal.
These endangered animals continue to be sold cheaply and easily as more sellers enter the market, trying to turn a quick profit.
Yes, we do know that there is less enforcement during this administration, and they are selling the animals without any consequence.
But illegal sales aren't just happening online, they're also sold over the counter. There's 3 markets in Mexico City that openly trade exotic animals illegally. We're on our way to one of those now, Sonora Market, to see how easy it really is. These markets are illegal trafficking hotspots, known to be hostile to inspectors. Last December, officials went to inspect one of them. Not only did they get chased out, they got attacked. Lookouts in the market are watching for suspicious behaviour. So for security, we're sending in an undercover team instead. They spot banned native parrots for sale, most of which have been taken from the wild, damaging Mexico's biodiversity. It's estimated 77% of them will die before they reach the market. Our team is offered a rare monkey, which is legal and comes at a premium. A seller around the corner offers them a cheaper illegal alternative. Our investigators leave the market empty-handed. But in May this year, authorities rescued a small lion cub from another nearby market. Vet Enrique Mendoza has nursed her back to health at the Santuay Sanctuary, where they named her Carlota.
Good morning, gorgeous.
For 7 years, Enrique worked as a federal inspector for Mexico's wildlife law enforcement agency, Trafficker.
When we received her, she was reluctant to any touch from humans. And now, as you can see, she's comfortable with us.
A legally bred animal would be microchipped or tattooed, making it traceable.
So we don't know where she come from. Most of the illegal traffickers acquire them from illegal breeding facilities. They're breeding and breeding and breeding, big factory of cubs, and they sell a lot of them. Now, anyone with $4,000 can start a breeding facility of big cats.
How does the black market actually work?
20 years ago, the cartels only work with illegal substances, but those guys are always diversifying. They realize that they can make another profitable operation moving animals. There's substances and also wildlife.
Where do you think this all ends?
I don't want to make a tragic statement, but if the animals are still breeding in these numbers, we are going to be facing a major problem of having wildcats everywhere. I think this will end on a collapse.
The illegal trade extends far beyond big cats. There's a huge demand for monkeys, parrots, crocodiles and fish, all taken out of Mexico's rich biodiversity. I'm travelling back to Mexico City to meet a veteran trafficker of 30 years who takes animals from the wild and sells them internationally. He's agreed to talk to us on the condition of anonymity.
Yo tengo proveedores que se dedican a capturarlos directamente. Entonces el margen de ganancia al venderlos.
Do you worry about the impact on the wider ecological system of those animals that are just taken from the wild?
Cambia el ecosistema, claro que sí. Y también al momento que se acaba alguna especie en un lugar, todo cambia.
The trafficker says he sent huge shipments to China, claiming they were facilitated by corrupt government officials.
Hay corrupción y con la corrupción hay permisos. Y con los permisos hay venta.
A lack of basic law enforcement, budget cuts and corruption in the government and in some sanctuaries are all contributing to this illegal market. But what is the government doing, if anything, to stop it from completely spiralling out of control? Dr. Mendoza Vera is the federal attorney who works for the environmental law enforcement agency, Profepa. How big a challenge does Profepa have on its hands?
Tomando en cuenta el tamaño del territorio, el número de funciones, el reto es inmenso.
Under government budget cuts, Profepa shut most regional offices and was left with only 90 inspectors. From what we've seen with our own eyes, it means that people are breaking the law every single day without fear of being caught.
Creo que en materia ambiental en México ha sido un tema el de que más vale venir a pedir perdón que pedirle permiso a la autoridad para hacer las cosas adecuadamente. Y pienso que tenemos muchísimo trabajo por hacer.
We've heard accusations that people within Profepa and Seminat have signed documents which has allowed hundreds of animals to be exported abroad to China. What would you say to that?
Desgraciadamente en el tema ambiental hay corrupción, eso no se puede negar, no se debe negar. En lo que se refiere a la ley en general, creo que debemos mejorar. Y debemos mejorar en cuanto a que tenemos leyes que son muy laxas.
The government is candid about its failings, but what does that mean for animals whose welfare is meant to be protected by their laws? On the outskirts of Mexico City, in a low-income area, is La Jungla Real.
We can see yet more tigers and lions, but this time they're housed in the middle of a restaurant.
Owner Guillermo lost an arm in a motorcycle accident. He set up the restaurant to pay for the cost of keeping his animals, but it's struggling.
¡Gato!
Gato is severely underweight.
Y anda deprimido, no quiere comer, anda. Voy a comprar otra, ¿eh?
Although this restaurant is legally licensed as a wildlife management centre, there is no legislation that says how often places like these should be inspected.
This space is about 2.5 metres by 9, and you can see it's tiny. There's 2 tigers in there. One of the tigers got a huge wound on it.
Shaq.
Shaq has a suspected broken leg from falling from a ledge in his cage.
Do you ever feel bad about the sort of size of the place that they have to live in?
Yo quisiera que vivieran en un espacios mucho mayores. Pero en la vida real, todo cuesta. Te dicen, está en un pequeño espacio, le falta espacio. Ajá. Te preguntan cuánto comen, pero no te dicen, toma, te doy dinero para que coman.
If you're limited for space, why do you keep buying more animals? You've just bought 2 more tigers.
Sí, todos son mis hermanos y todos necesitan ayuda.
Guillermo's license also allows him to kill and stuff his animals for profit.
Todos han muerto naturalmente.
¿Por qué se murió?
Lo atacaron unos perros y lo destrozaron. Ahora, cuidado. Watch.
The law also fails to clearly define welfare conditions for animals, leaving them open to interpretation.
The law says that the space the animals are kept in has to be dignified and respectful. How do you measure that? How do you make sure that you're achieving that?
La autoridad no te dan los permisos si no cumples con las normas establecidas. Y si la ley no estuviera clara, pues no da los permisos necesarios ni a mí ni a ninguno.
Not sure what I was expecting going to a restaurant that housed exotic animals, but it wasn't that. The space felt really at odds with the owner's claim that the animals were his family. They could barely move in the space he was holding them in, and they were in terrible physical condition. But I think the most shocking thing of all was that it was legal.
New legislation that would ban exotic animals as pets is currently being debated in the Mexican Senate. Even if it does pass, conservationists say it may not be enforced. So until the culture changes around owning these pets, they will continue to suffer and be treated as a commodity.